Hi, welcome to my video on the review of transformations on ordered pairs. And as in all my reviews, you can treat the review as a quiz, as a test. And this one is at a 25 marks. So you 3 more pages to go because this is the first one of 4. So do each question, give yourself a mark or marks for each question, and total up the bottom on each page. So the second page has a total of 9 and separate. When you get it all done, add up your score, put it over 25, and convert it to a decimal by dividing denominator into numerator or multiplying both by 4, and then move your decimal 2 places to the right to get your percentage. Here we go. The review. Number 1, find the values of the image for each. We have the mapping rule, x, y, x plus 2, y minus 4. So x is negative 1. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Y is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So if you have 1, 2, give yourself a mark. And we have this mapping rule, and we have x is 2, and y is negative 4. So it's the negative of a negative 4. So notice the x has never changed, so it's a 2, and the negative of a negative 4 is 4. 2, 4, give yourself a mark. And this one, we have x is negative 3, so negative 3 minus 1, and y is 2. So we have negative 4 and 6. If you have negative 4, 6, give yourself a mark. State the mapping rule for each ordered pair. Now, this is a reflection in the y-axis. When you reflect in the y-axis, you're horizontal, so you're changing the x to a negative, but not the y. Give yourself a mark. If we reflect in the x-axis, you're reflecting vertically, so you're changing the y value, not the x. So the y is the negative of the y. Horizontal translation is translation horizontal is the x, so it's an x plus or minus h, and the y don't change. A vertical stretch is on the y and is multiplying the y value, so the x is not changed, and the vertical stretch is by. And a vertical translation, vertical is on the y, translation is adding or subtracting, so the x is not changed, so it's a y plus or minus k. And the horizontal stretch, horizontal is on the x, stretch is times, so it's an ax comma y. If you have each of these right, give yourself a mark each and total up the page out of 9. And next one, state the transformations of each mapping rule on the ordered pair. So if we map x and y to x plus 4 y, nothing is happening to the y's, but the x is adding 4. So the transformation is 4 right. And this one, nothing has happened to the x's, but the y has changed. So a y to a negative y, change the y you're reflecting in the x-axis. X-axis reflect. X, no change in the x, and the y is multiplied by 5, so it's a vertical stretch of 5. D, x, y, x is not changed again, y is subtract 2, so it's down 2, or 2 down. And when you get them right, give yourself a mark. And number 4, or sorry, E, I don't know where I got 4 then, but thinking something else. The x is changed, so it's the x to a negative x, so it's reflected. X, the opposite, so it's reflected in the y-axis. horizontal reflection. And the y has 3 added to it, so that's going 3 up in terms of the y. Plus is up, and it's on the y. And we get this one. We have x, y mapped to x minus 6 and negative y minus 4. So let's do the x first, or we could do the reflection. So it's a negative on the y, so it's reflected. It's reflected in the change the y to a negative, so it's reflected in the x-axis. And there's no stretches because there's a 1 on the x and 1 on the y. So the x is minus 6, so it's 6 left. And the y is a minus 4, so it's 4 down. Again, when you're writing out the rule, remember it's an RST. So you look at your negatives on the x and the y to do your reflections. You look at the stretches as the number in front of the x or the number in front of the y, because it's multiplied by. And then you do your translations, which is your pluses and minuses at the end. G, x, y is mapped to x plus 7 and 2y. So we could say, if we look at the x, or look at, there's no negatives, so there's no reflecting. We have a vertical stretch on the y of 2. And the only translation we have is with the x, so it's 7 right. Again, you could write down 7 right and a vertical stretch of 2, as long as you name it correctly. Give yourself a mark and graph the ordered pair using the mapping rule. The ordered pair is negative 1, 2. We want to graph it using this ordered pair. So the ordered pair is negative 1, 2. So x is negative 1, so negative 1 plus 3. And y is 2, so it's 2 minus 4. So that gives me 2, negative 2. Again, you're putting negative 1 in place of x. You get a 2, and you're putting 2 in the place of y to get a negative 2. So if you take this and plug it in, and you get this, you get 1 mark. And if you plot the point 2, negative 2, which is right there, you get the other mark. Now another way to do it is take this point of negative 1, 2, negative 1, 2 is right there, and obey the shift. So that's according to this, you're going 3 right, and then you're going 4 down. Plus 3 is on the x, so it's right. The minus 4 is on the y, so it's down. So if you take this point and go 3 right, 1, 2, 3, you go there. And then you go 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you go this way, and then this, you get to that point. If you obey this direction, or you can plug the easiest way is to plug the x and the y into this mapping rule and work it out to be 2, negative 2, 2 points, total of 9 altogether. But a reminder, when you use transformations, I always go reflect, and then I stretch, and then I translate in that order. That's a good rule to follow. Now what we have here is graph the point 3, 2 using each transformation one at a time. So we're going to plot the point, then we're going to do this transformation, move the point, then we're going to take this point and move it by a stretch of 2, then we're going to take this point, wherever it is, and move it 4 left, and then we're going to move it 3 down to come to the final point. Then we're going to state the mapping rule, and we're going to check it to see if we're right. Here we go. Plot the point 3, 2. X is 3, Y is 2, right there. Give yourself a mark if you plot it right. Now you're going to reflect that point in the x-axis. So the 3, 2, when you reflect the point in the x-axis, you come down here, and the x won't change, so you get 3, negative 2. 3, negative 2, right there. So when you reflect this point in the x-axis, you get 3, negative 2. Now we're going to take this point, and we're going to do a vertical stretch of 2. So we're going to multiply the y value by 2. So that gives me 3, negative 4. So that's 3, negative 4. So the y value is stretched, multiplied by 2, but not the x. Then we're going to move it 4 units to the left. So take this point and move it 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's negative 1, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 4. So that becomes negative 1, negative 4. And now we're going to take this point and we're going to move it down 3. So negative 1, negative 4 is right there, and we're going down 3. 1, 2, 3, right there. So this point is x is negative 1, y is negative 7. So notice each one of these, if you have the correct points, give yourself a mark each. And after all, let's find the mapping rule. And the mapping rule is reflected in the x. So that means the y is negative. We got a vertical stretch of 2, so it's 2 times the y. It's gone 4 left, so that's x minus 4. And we go 3 down, minus 3. So there's the mapping rule. Now we're going to check to see if this point that we have fits the mapping rule, to see if we have the final point. The final point is negative 1, negative 7. So if we check, we take the point, which is 3, 2, and we plug in 3, and we plug in 2 or substitute, plug or substitute, same thing. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, and negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, minus 3 is negative 7. So this point right here, same as this point. So I have the mapping rule correct, give yourself a mark, and I checked the point doing this calculation. I have another point, and total up the page, and you have 7 altogether. And you total up each of the pages, and when you're finished, you come back to the beginning sheet, put your score over 25, and again, convert it to a decimal, and move the decimal 2 places to the right. Again, because you're over 25, multiply both by 4, and you'll get your number over 100. And out of 100, you get your percentage right away, or you get your decimal and then shift it, your choice. And that brings us to the end of the transformations on ordered pairs. This unit is finished now. And if you like my video on the review, click the like button, click the subscribe button, notification bell. Visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my video, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Can be found on my website. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.